Okay, I've got all of my orcs, cave trolls, and wargs, and I'm ready to set up my army here in the space plate before I finish my Minas Tirith mock. This is what they look like all dumped out, so they really fill this mock up. So if I wanted to, I could throw them all in here and that'd be insane, but let's set them up and get going. All right, so now they're all set up and I'm ready to go over my Lego orc, Uruk-hai, wargs, goblins, cave troll army. So let's get started. So here in the back, we have my Uruk-hai, or on the right side. I have 12 times of this variant that came with a hairpiece. So these guys came in the Uruk-hai army set, kind of a battle pack for $30. By far the best $30 battle pack Legos come out with. Much better than the 501st battle pack. Very cool. And also have 26 times of these Uruk-hai with the helmet that also came in that set. And then it would be Helm's Deep as well. So 26 of those. And then we have these guys with the White Hand of Saruman print on their helmet. And then almost all of them also have the shields as well. These guys are really valuable, really sought after. They came in the Orc Forge set, as well as, I'm not sure if an Uruk-hai came in it, the whole body, but definitely the helmet and the shield also came in Orthanc, the Tower of Orthanc. So it's cool to have 18 times of these guys. Very, very cool figure, some good detail on them. And like I said, highly sought after, definitely the most expensive orc in this army here today. Also in the Orc Forge were Lurts. I have 8 of these guys. Really like the color of these guys. I like this face print a little more than the other one. The other one looks a little like a gorilla or something, but this one's really cool. Really like these guys. Happy to have 8 of them. And then I have only one Uruk-hai Berserker. So this guy came in Helm's Deep. And I'd like to have more of him. I think if you look at my Uruk-hai army in a whole, like I said, I have 65 of these guys in total, but it'd be nice to have a few more Uruk-hai Berserkers to round out the army. So 65 of these guys. Moving on to my Moria orcs, I have 7 of them. So these came in the Moria, Mines of Moria set. Very nice figures. This one I threw on a Fright Night breastplate. I saw someone do that online, so credit to whoever did that. Really works well with the guy. I like how it's kind of a silver in comparison to this pearl dark gray color that the Uruk-hai have, so very nice. It really matches up well with the torso print as well. If you look at the design, it's very similar, so whoever did that was very keen, to figure that out. So I really like those guys. Be nice to pick up some more of those breastplates. So 7 times of these Moria orcs. It would be cool to pick up some more of these guys, but they're kind of hard to come by in quantities, so I'll just keep getting them, I guess, when they come. May or may not be bigger the next time we see these guys in one of my armies. And then up top we have 7 of these wargs. I have 2 of these from the Mirkwood Elf army set, 2 of these gray wargs, or 3 of these gray wargs, and 2 of the white wargs. Those ones came in the, I think, Warg Attack from The Hobbit. Wargs are seen in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, but they only came in the Hobbit sets, which isn't a biggie, but very cool and well done. Obviously, if you read The Hobbit, the wargs are a little bit of a bigger deal than they are in the Lord of the Rings, but so it makes sense that they only came in the Hobbit sets, but they are so cool. I especially like how they can be ridden by the orcs. So yeah, 7 wargs and 65 Uruk-hai and 7 Moria orcs over here. Moving on to the left side of the army, we have my Moria orcs, or Mordor orcs, and Gundabad. So in the back here, we have 27 of these Mordor orcs with the hairpiece. I bricked linked most of these guys, so I didn't buy the complete figure. I kind of parted them out, these guys here in the back because it was a little bit cheaper to do that. But I really like these guys. Obviously, these are the guys that are going to be in this Minas Tirith mock I'm making. Very, very cool figure. Moving on, we have 13 of these guys. Same figure, except instead of a hairpiece, they have a helmet. They have this Uruk-hai army helmet. So 13 of those. This one, I found that helmet and kind of that like shoulder piece off of a Mandalorian figure. It's like a Platoonian Star Wars character from the Mandalorian TV show. So I saw that and got him in a bulk lot. I didn't buy that set, but kind of just got him per chance. And I thought his armor went pretty well on these orcs. So that may be something of interest. I think that figure's cheap, but I don't know. I don't know how cheap these parts are, but they work really well on the Mordor orcs. Then over here we have my Hunter orcs. These are from the Hobbit sets. These are from the Hobbit sets, but I don't really differentiate them from the Mordor orcs because they're pretty much identical, except for their legs. They have this printed piece rather than just this dark brown plain print. So they're a little bit updated. I don't really have a preference over which one I prefer. If anything, actually, I probably prefer the plain dark brown print. You know, as boring as that may sound, but I think it looks a little nicer than this this like more naked looking orc. Yeah, so 22 of these guys, and then 4 of them are the variants from like Lake Town. So they kind of have a cool hairpiece. It's like a mohawk. Pretty cool. And then that would be, I guess, the ones that I consider the Mordor orcs. So these are 62 of these guys. 62. And then I have 2 of these Yaznags. This guy is not a very popular figure. He's only $3-4 on Bricklink, so by far the cheapest, I think, guy on here. Even though he does have some cool printing, his armor spike thing is pretty unique, looks cool. It's just, he really stands out with that fleshy tone face. So I think that makes him less attractive to people to bulk up in their armies. He actually looks a lot like Gothmog from the Lord of the Rings Minas Tirith battle. Like, he's like the chief orc who leads the attack on Minas Tirith. So that's kind of why I like him. But again, if I consider him like that, then it's like I don't want a million of him. So not an orc that is really army built. Then moving on, we have my Gundabad orcs. I got more into these guys after playing the Lego Hobbit video game. They were, you know, pretty prominent in it, and I think they're pretty cool. They're this orange color, like pumpkin. I have, how many? I have 19 of these guys. So these guys recently came in today, so that's kind of what spurred me on to make this army. I've got 19 of these Gundabad orcs. Pretty happy with that number. Then we've got Azog, the Defiler, who in Lord of the Rings canon would have been dead in the Lord of the Rings, or in the Hobbit movie. And his son Bolg would actually have been the guy who led the attack in the 5 armies. So it's kind of funny that Peter Jackson chose to have Azog be alive in the Hobbit rather than dead like he was in the canon books. But he's a cool figure. This is the variant with his mouth open. I do have the other variant with his mouth closed, but it's in a sealed Dol Guldur set that I have not yet opened, so I'm not going to crack it open today for that. Then over here we have 3 of these goblins from Goblin Town. These are a cool figure. They look pretty distinct from the rest of them with this interesting head mold. But I haven't really army built these guys. They're a little expensive, a little harder to find than these other orcs here. And they're really only seen in Goblin Town in the movies, which I think is a cool scene in The Hobbit. I know a lot of people kind of hate parts of The Hobbit, like the Lake Town barrel escape, or the barrel escape, and, you know, the Goblin Town chase because of how cartoony and unrealistic they seem. But I don't know, I was actually a really big fan of those scenes in the movie. You know, that definitely wasn't the problem in the Hobbit movies. But yeah, only 3 of these guys. And then, I guess, so I have 25 times of these guys I'd consider from the Hobbit, 62 times of the Mordor orcs. And then moving on to the big figs, I have 6 of these cave trolls. These guys came in the Mines of Moria set, and they're honestly not as expensive as you would think. I bought almost all of these. Well, I have 2 of the Mines of Moria set, but the other 4 I bought for like $20 each, which is, yeah, it's expensive. It's $80, but for this figure, I think he's kind of undervalued. I don't know. I think he'd be worth more than that, considering how cool he looks and how exclusive he is. He's an older fig, big fig. He's a big fig. He's really cool. So I think $20 for these is very fair. So I have 6 of these guys. I do need a couple more chains, but very cool figure. The reason I got these guys was because although in the movies we see kind of the trolls have a different color closer to these Mordor orcs, I still think, you know, they're the closest thing we have to kind of the other trolls we see. And I don't know, I just think they're really cool. So last thing I have is 1 times of this Goblin King. Very well done by Lego. Great printing, very accurate to what we see in the movie. Great big fig. So that is the entire army. It is pretty huge. It will be expanding, but probably not as fast as it has been recently. I just wanted to buy as many of these guys as I could before, you know, the TV show or the anime come out and they go up in value, and then I won't be able to get them. So wanted to get them now. Again, in total, there are 159 of these orcs across all of the different types. If you're wondering what is my favorite figure, honestly, I think I like the Mordor orcs the most. I know most people would probably say that Uruk-hai is their favorite, but because of, you know, I guess the media itself, Lord of the Rings, I prefer the 3rd movie. I prefer the Mordor orcs. I think they're a little cooler just because of the battles they're in. And again, they're all amazing figures. Like, very rarely can you say that about some Lego figures across a certain theme, but all of these are pretty amazing. So I do have some more in some sealed Hobbit sets. So I have like Mirkwood Army sealed. I have 1 of those sealed. So like I have another brown Warg, and then I have like a Lake Town set sealed, Dol Guldur sealed, and funny enough, I actually don't have all the variants of orcs. I'm still, it's kind of sad, but I still am missing 1 of these Gundabad orcs. He has a different face print, ever so slightly different, but it makes it different, and so I don't have all of them. He's actually like the only guy from the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit that I do not have. So I'll have to pick him up eventually. But yeah, this has been my army. What do you guys want to see in the Minas Tirith mock? I was originally planning on only doing these Mordor orcs back here, but I don't know. I think Mordor orcs and cave trolls and wargs, but I think it could be cool to put some of the other variants in there. Obviously, I'm not going to put the Saruman orcs in there just because it's not really accurate, but you know, Lurtz, Moria orcs, Gundabad, the Hunter orcs. Let me know what you guys want to see invading Minas Tirith. Obviously, I can't fit them all, but it'd be cool to see what we can do there. So let me know, guys. Thank you for watching the army, and have a good day.